All right, I'm going to try to do this review video before I end up taking this back. Spoiler alert, not super happy with it, but I'm going to let you all know exactly why I'm not happy with it before. So yeah. All right, so since a lot of younger people that are more interested in the swipe content, the kind of the shorts and the reels, or people that are more fan of things like TikTok, seem to complain that videos are too long. I'm going to give you a short version, but I'm also going to review it in its intended usage first, and then I'm going to do a longer review based on my personal opinions and how I was hoping to use it and how it did not stack up. So we're going to first review it on its intended purpose. So this is the Saramonic Ultra. It's a very nice little wireless lavalier kit that has the receiver, 2 transmitters that have these very, very strong magnets on them, which I both like and don't like because I'm not going to use them, and so there's no place to really like put them without being afraid that they're going to mess up anything else. But they do work. Now, for what this is intended to be used for, which is more vlogging, which is more short content, which is more YouTube talking head related stuff, this actually works very well, and especially for its price point. And overall, the things that it comes with obviously the heavy case, which is also its recharger, which has a really good battery life. The small lavaliers are nice and portable. They don't really feel like they're going to get broken that easily. They are relatively sturdy. Yes, they are mostly plastic, with the clip being metal. But overall, it's a nice build. It's nice quality. And then it obviously comes with the 2 lavaliers, charging cables, a little pouch to hold everything in, and the little Deadcat. There's not really a better name for these. The little Deadcat wind covers for attaching to them like so, and then clipping onto your shirt, which is not how I use them and is not how I'm going to be using them. But with that very short summary review, I would say that if your goal is just talking head, is quick, short content, is vlogging, is interviews at like conventions and stuff like that, this is actually a really good buy. Link is down in the description. Now, to the longer part, and yes, there is going to be a timestamp. Now to the longer part of this review. So for those who were here for that was their goal, that was their intended purpose, or that was what they were wanting to get from this system, there you go. That's it. That's what I can say. Everything else is going to be a little more scathing. So I do more than just talking head. In fact, I don't do a lot of content for YouTube in general. Now, one thing that I definitely want to put out is that this was not sent to me by Saramonic. They did not send me the Saramonic Ultra. They have not contacted me. I bought this with my own money, which is one of the reasons that I get to say literally whatever I want, which is not to say that my other reviews where people have sent me stuff was not honest. However, normally when someone sends me stuff, I'm honest, but I'm trying not to be as... offensive isn't really the word. I'm trying not to be mean. But I bought this with my own money. They did not send this to me, and I'm very disappointed, so I may be a little mean when it comes to what I was hoping to get from this. Now, I've seen a lot of people review this. I saw a lot of people post a lot of videos on this system. And based on everyone else's reviews, there was a lot of things that I was optimistic for, the things that I wanted out of this kind of device. Now, I have had the X-Vive lavalier system for a while. However, this, even though I do like the X5 lavalier system that was sent to me by X5. I think it's, it's a very nice system. This was not intended to be used for filmmaking. This was not intended to be used for anything outside of interviews or very simple kind of recording or monitoring. I ended up using this on a lot of sets. Some films and short films, I had very positive and happy outcomes, but then there were a lot of others that really pushed this thing past what it was intended to be used for. There was a short film that's still in circulation right now that is, I don't remember the name of it, but it's going to be in the description down below. It was, a good test of what this could not do. These are not well shielded. Also, these are not intended to be used in hot or humid environments, and these got pushed to their limit, and these are basically breaking on me now, which is kind of a shame because I really like these things. But because of that, I wanted to get a new lavalier system, one that didn't have to be the Sennheiser or the Shure lavaliers that everybody uses, like the G3s or whatever, G6s, G3s. Anyway, I just wanted something that I could use and use on the smaller budget or more independent projects that I often work on. So I wanted something that was a little bit more closer to this in the sense of it being, simple, small, portable, not that expensive. I also was wanting something that had 32-bit float internal recording. Now, before we go any further, right now you are actually listening to me on my Zoom MicTrak shotgun mic, which does 32-bit float recording. I love this microphone. In fact, I'm going to bring this more into frame so everyone can see it, which I'm going to be doing a little bit more in relation to this because I have a test that I'm going to be showing you. Get this out of the way. Okay, there we go. I don't need this right in my face. There we go. But I love this thing because it is going to be my new main workhorse for shooting on set. In fact, when I shoot stuff in here, which to let you know why this is up, I'm actually going to be replacing the green screen with a better backdrop. I should have said that at the beginning. I didn't, because I do a lot of client projects. I film a lot of stuff in here. And I had 2 client projects where I needed to have the green screen up, which is why it's still up, which is why the lights are still up. So I'm going to film in front of the green screen. I also need to lay out a whole bunch of shit, so I wasn't going to be able to put it in the voiceover space. Anyway, but I love the 32-bit float function on this particular Zoom device. I don't have to monitor it. I can basically hit record and do whatever. I can scream, I can whisper, I can do whatever, and as long as it's relatively quiet, there's not a lot of reverb, there's not a lot of background noise, it's going to be clean audio. So when I heard that this had 32-bit float internal recording, as well as transmitting, I was optimistic. I really wanted that as a function. I really wanted that as a feature for recording. But it ended up not being what I was genuinely looking for because the noise was pretty bad. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to plug in one of these with their microphone. I'm also going to plug in the other one with a different microphone, one that's a little bit more, it's one that's a little bit more expensive of a microphone. And we're going to give you a little audio test. Okay. Okay. All right. So, as of right now, I now have first of all, I still have the Zoom M3 recording. And then I'm going to be switching between one of the lavaliers. This one is the one on the left. That is the one that has the stock or the kind of the microphone that the system normally comes with. And the one on the right, my right, that one has a Rode SmartLav in it. which is like a $70 lavalier. And this one is the default, which I believe is like $15 to $30. So one of them is technically twice the price of the other. Neither of them are true professional quality microphones, but they're both kind of standard or within kind of the same quality and price range. Later I will be connecting that to this thing, as well as to my Zoom H6 to show you some more comparisons. But the ultimate goal that I wanted to show you guys, and also these are both, let me double check, yeah, these are both recording internally, which is really going to be the key complaint that I have. Something about 32-bit float, also literally everything is used. One thing about 32-bit float is it is intended to give you all of the headroom that you could possibly ever need on your audio. It's different than the hertz, like 44.1 or 48 kilohertz or 96 kilohertz. It is, the bit rate is more like, this is the way I usually explain it to people. It's not 100% accurate, but this is usually the way I explain it to people. Is hertz are like pixels. So 96 would be a lot like 4K. But bit is more like, when it's 32-bit, that's more like shooting it in log or a very flat color palette to give you all of the detail. So you're not losing anything in the highs, you're not losing anything in the lows. That's the best analogy that I can possibly use. So the benefit of having a 32-bit float recorder is so that you have, number one, it doesn't peak, and number two, if it's too quiet, you can boost the gain and you don't have any noise. Here's the problem. These things still have a crap ton of self-noise. They have a lot of noise internally. There we go. All right, forgot to hit record. All right, so forgot to do a noise test on the lavaliers, on the system itself, just to do a silence noise test. So this one, that is the built-in mic, so I'm going to go ahead and test that one. And then we have the lavalier on that one. They're both recording internally, and it's recording into the to the iPhone, which apparently there's some jankiness in the system, in the settings, the output, and I had it set to stereo. Instead, it needed to be dual mono or something like that, or it was set to safety or something, and that's why a lot of the video that I recorded before wasn't able to use the stereo that went directly into the phone. So hopefully we'll have an example here of having two different channels rather than the previous footage where it was just basically one muddied channel. So again, there's a little bit of jankiness there. So I'm going to give you some silence. And there you go. And I'll switch between this mic, and then hopefully the two channels that are built in there, as well as the self-recorded internal recordings. There you go. So having the 32-bit float function is basically useless, which I will be demonstrating for you as I go on. And I'll probably be switching between the audio that is going directly into the iPhone through the transmitter through one of these that's connected to the bottom, or the receiver connected to the bottom, through a USB-C adapter, and then I'll also be switching between this to give you kind of like a clearer analogy, or anytime that the audio peaks or whatever. But then also between these microphones. It's going to be hell. So between these microphones going into there, as well as the individual microphones on their personal recording, which I have to subtract, individually, it's going to be hell. This is going to be crazy. This video is definitely not going to go up before I send this stuff back. But the problem is when you have a device that has a lot of self-noise in it, even if it's 32-bit float, doesn't matter the gain, there's still going to be self-noise. Now, yes, on certain examples, under certain circumstances, I have been able to clean out the noise when it's going directly into the receiver, into the camera, or into some other device. I have been able to tweak and clean out the self-noise. But that means that the true benefit of having a 32-bit float device is pointless. There was no point in me buying a 32-bit float device, especially with self-recording lavaliers, which is really what I wanted. So I might as well return these and get just cheaper, you know, lavaliers that don't have 30-bit float if it's all just going to come down to the only audio I'm going to be able to use is that which goes directly out of the receiver. So that's kind of my main problem. Now, again, this is pretty good for people that are just doing talking head or just doing interviews or just doing, you know, random small content or whatever. But when you're dealing with larger clients, larger projects, or stuff that is more creative in the sense of you need it to not sound like it's a microphone. You need it to sound like it's wherever it is that it's being recorded. You want to not take people out of the moment with bad audio. And that is the problem, is that this is not good for filmmaking. Now, if this was your first film, if you're filming all on your phone and you wanted a run and gun system where you could plug this into your phone and, you know, shoot on the BlackMagic, you know, camera app, which I use all the time, and the audio quality didn't matter, and there was going to be a whole bunch of background noise, wind, traffic noise, whatever, that's going to be louder. Speaking of traffic noise, that's going to be louder than the noise generated within these. And also, the audio that's going into the iPhone is going to probably be better. But, another but is the audio going to the receiver through the adapter, one of these, into USB-C, into my phone, is one of the best case scenarios. But I do not want to be limited to only being able to use this device through my phone. I want to be able to use it through a Zoom H6. I want to be able to attach it to a higher quality field recorder. I want to be able to attach it to a mixer if I want to. But this thing doesn't really do that all that well. Now, I'm going to unplug it from there, and I'm going to attach it to my Zoom H6. And then I'm also going to attach this to one of the lavaliers. And I'm going to show you what this sounds like, because this is a higher quality microphone that is self-powered. It has batteries, so it's not, you know, plug-in power like a lavalier. So I'm going to give you some more examples, and then I'm going to conclude this video. This is going to be already a pain in the ass to edit. Okay, now I think I got it. All right, let's restart that part. Okay, there's a lot going on here. Oh my God, it's peaking. See, again, it's peaking. Why is it peaking? Okay, turn that down. Turn that down. Okay, that's probably better. Oh my God, Luke, what? What? Hey, I'm recording something. Move. What? Why are you griping? So, as you can see, I have the receiver plugged in with a stereo cable into the Zoom H6. Luke, I swear to God, don't you knock anything over. And so I have one of the transmitters right here. You see that guy right there, plugged in to the Zoom M3. So it's this microphone going into that, which is also recording internally, which is being recorded in here. And then I have the lavalier with their stock lav on this pack, and that is also recording internally. So Now you can hear all the shenanigans of this, and I'm going to be switching between them because we have that, which is the Zoom M3, the lavalier, which is this channel, that, I mean, that's just the screen. But anyway, so I'm not going to be doing any post-processing. I might show you what some post-processing could sound like. I'm going to take whatever the cleanest audio is, and I'm going to showcase that with a little bit of post-processing. But ultimately, I'm not going to be doing much post-processing. Going to give it to you all like raw and exactly how it's being recorded. First off, not going to be using these things. Any microphone system, any lavalier system that focuses mainly on this kind of kit, generally speaking, is not something that I personally would pay any money to, pay any attention to, and even bother with. This is not how I'm going to use it. This is not what I would ever want to use. This is not professional. This is just for, run and gun, interviews, talking head, videos like this. That's all this is for. So I want a company to not put that much attention into that. Now, obviously, I didn't go over everything that comes in the kit, everything that comes in the system. We're mostly just talking about audio quality. There are some features with this system that I do like. I like this is a very rugged, heavy box, and it does a really good job of charging this stuff. If this was a higher quality system that had a better noise floor, then I would love this, because then I could just take the mics from people, put them in here, let it recharge. Whether I'm at a place that has an outlet or not, I could do that, and it's all good. But I can't, because I can't even be on set with this. I do like that it comes with extra features like an extended antenna. I don't know if I'll ever actually need this. I don't think I'll ever be that far away. It hasn't dropped signal, and I'm not going to be doing a stress test on this system because, if it doesn't pass audio quality, then there's no point in doing the other things. I think the lavaliers are, fine. They come with a really nice, wind cover. They're a decent size that if I was to use this for film, it wouldn't be hard for me to wrap this in moleskin and hide it underneath someone's clothing. The mics are fine as far as like size and functionality. There's some weird size and weird shaped ones that I obviously don't like. Personally, I like the very thin lavaliers like that. I like the thinner ones because it's easier to hide this in clothing. It's easier to hide this in a tie. It's easier to hide this all over the place. There are a couple other things that I do like. I like that it comes with all the cables. I like that this system you can take the individual lav transmitters, and you can plug them up to any computer, and you can take off the files like they were any drive, like they were any, data storage, without having to have special software, like you do with a lot of the Rode. I think the Go and the Rode Pro, you have to have special software in order to change any settings and in order to, pull any data off of them. But this system, you actually do have a really nice touch screen that you can, swipe through, and you can change the volume on the devices. You can change, a lot of things. It's very easy to use. I do prefer that. I love that. I actually like the build, and I like the features, and I like the functionality. The only thing I don't like is its audio quality. Now, if Saramonic later on had a better quality system that was basically this, but it was, a couple $100 more, and they had a cleaner recording on the individual lavs, that would be perfect. Like if the internal recording was cleaner, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to have a noise floor that doesn't compete with the voice. When the noise is at the same level as the majority of a character's voice when they're wearing the lav, if you do noise cleanup, it removes a lot of the nuance of the voice. which is one of the reasons that this is a problem. You want a system where you have to do as little as possible. And even in a well-treated space, not a lot of noise, there's no wind, there's nothing in here that's, interfering with the system, with the kit, like other transmitters that it's having to compete with or anything like that. It works right out of the box, it's all that kind of stuff. It's just the audio quality. So for me, this is a fail, and it's an unfortunate fail because I really, really wanted this to be a nicer system. And it's very unfortunate that a lot of reviews done online, especially for things like this, are normally done by people who don't review audio or don't do audio for a living, that don't do film audio. That's why I like Curtis Judd. I believe I'm saying his name right. I like Curtis Judd because he actually does audio for a living, and he reviews it with that in mind. And he does, multiple kinds of stress tests. He reviews all its functionality on a more professional setting. But most people, especially a lot of people that reviewed this particular device, reviewed it on a more blasé, basic setting. And I think a lot of them, they were sent the device by the company and felt that they had to be a little bit more, flowery or friendly with their review. And I wish I had gotten a more professional and a more honest review on this system before I had purchased it. So that's why I'm giving you the full details and giving you all the different ways that you can plug up this device to review its audio quality and its sound. But other than that, that's pretty much going to be it. I'm definitely going to be replacing it. I don't know what I'm going to be replacing it with as of right now. But when I do have it, if I end up doing a review, you'll find out about it. But yeah, that's going to be it. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Totally fine. Subscribe if you're new, bell for notifications, and leave down in the comment section below if you'd like to see me cover any other topics, review any other products. If you disagree with my review, or if you actually got one of these that didn't have the issues that I had, please, God, let me know. Because I would love to know that I just found I just got a fluke, that I just got, for some reason, one that was just damaged or what have you. Or if you know anything about the settings, please leave that down below, because if someone did buy these and they really, really want to hold on to theirs and the community down below can help them resolve some of these issues, that'd be perfect. That'd be awesome. That'd be great. But for me, this didn't quite cut it, and I'm definitely going to be looking for another lavalier system. But that's going to be it. So until next time, peace.